No. We don't edit anything. This is raw and live. Or
Oh,
live
really?
And raw. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Watch out what I say.
Yeah, you should have seen Colton Cussing last week. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is real estate, and it's really, really, really simple. Rates are high, yet housing availability is super low. We still have a housing crisis. 33% of all transactions in April were over list. So that's where we're going.
Okay.
That should take up the whole time.
That's Austin proper, not in Round Rock and Georgia.
No, that's the country.
Oh, country?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we're about to say, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing your American dream. Hey, and don't forget to please reach out to Wyatt on the Facebook. And that is the Home Team 512. And you can also catch this on the YouTube at the Home Team 512. Pretty simple. The Home Team 512 gets you to everything. So Wyatt, I still talk to people every day, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Well, I'm waiting for the rates to come down. I'm like, okay. So I run the numbers. I'm like, okay, so if the rates come down, here's a 450 house today. In a couple years, it's worth 490. Rates come down to 5. Your payments are 23 and some change. Today, they're 25 and some change. This is principal and interest only. So you're saving $200, but you spend $40,000. I run that number. I'm telling you, it's just, I have the numbers in my head because I say it all the time. And they're like, yeah, but the housing market's about to crash. And I'm like, okay. Why?
And where'd you hear this from? Yeah.
From all the general consumers.
No, what I'm saying is when you're talking to this person, like, where'd you hear this from?
Yeah, I'm like, why? And they're like, well, that's what I'm hearing on the news. Nobody's buying homes and there's about to crash. And I said, and I'm like, yeah. And like in 2008, it fell like 40%. And I said, well, okay. I do the timeout, the T sign, timeout, timeout. I said, let's think about a couple things. There were 5 million homes available in 2008 when the housing market crashed.
In the United States.
Yes, in the United States. There are 5 million homes available. There's less than 900,000 available today.
900,000 in the entire
country.
The
whole U.S. of A.
Only 900,000.
Yes, homes. For 327 million people.
There's 900,000 homes
available today. So
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, that just depends. If you're one of those 900,000, you're controlling the price because there's, and people are like, well, there's just a lot more homes for sale. I said, well, yes, there are compared to 2020. No, there aren't compared to 2018. Right? So people are stuck. It's like you drive to Austin and you borrowed somebody's sports car and you floored it or you drive to Houston, right? And you borrowed somebody's sports car from Austin, you floored it the whole way and you made it in 92 minutes, right? Now, how long does it take to get to Houston? 92 minutes. No, that's the fastest time in the history you could ever possibly do it.
You have to take an average.
That's not, so that's what people have this feeling that 2020, 2021 were the housing market.
Whatever that benchmark is, that's what they want to go back to.
That is not. The
benchmark
benchmark is like 2017.
It's so today, right? Whatever accomplishes your argument,
yes.
That's what you look up, right?
Yes. And so since people aren't, Sunday showings, open houses don't have a line around the block and people aren't fighting over the homes, they think that the housing market is soft and stalled. And what's the proof is in the pudding, right? And we've been talking about get your home now, especially if you don't have money sitting around to just throw at a house, right? We've been talking about that since November. In March, 16% of all transactions in the United States were over list price. So 16%. So basically 84 homes went at list price out of 100 or below. 16 of them went over what was asking. Okay?
That's in the United States.
That's in the United States. Now, 1 month, right? Rates dropped 0.25%. Not even that much. Rates dropped 0.25%. They were in the high 6s. 1 month later, in April, 33% of all transactions were over list price. So that means 33% of all homes sold, the buyer offered more than what the seller was asking for it.
Right.
That's double, and so that shows you that it takes absolutely nothing to kick this market back off. 0.25% interest isn't anything. The rates have actually moved up, which is kind of, hopefully it will stall that you get one last run at this market, I think. And we've been talking about it. I'm telling you, you're going to go one last calm before the storm, which is now. And then once the rates fall, I mean, that's it. I mean, all
It's
these
gonna be
people that have been
crazy
sitting
again.
around waiting, they jump back in the market.
And they're already pre-qualified. They're already been looking. They already know what they want.
Yeah. And they'll see the good deal as soon as it pops on the market, and they'll go there. But the problem is they're not realizing that there's 150 other people looking at that same good deal.
Right.
And so you'll have to move quickly. You won't get to walk through the house. You'll have to waive inspections. You'll have to waive appraisals. You'll have to, pay for your own closing costs. Those are the things that are in. But you need to start your appreciation. If you have to do that to buy a home in 6 months from now, you should do that to buy a home. I'm saying that, Warren Buffett he's one of the richest people in the world, and he always says,
Eats McDonald's
he
every
says, sell when people are buying and buy when people are selling.
Yeah.
Right. And so right now everybody's trying to sell, so you should be trying to buy.
Right.
Right. And that's the way you should live. You should live your life just like that. And he says the best time to invest in the stock market is when it makes you sick to your stomach to look at it.
When you see those commercials, buy gold, it's usually not a time to buy gold.
Yeah.
That people are trying to sell it to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, buy it when no one else is buying it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on. So we'll run over the ABOR numbers real quick. I mean, the median sales price is at $466,000. Okay, now that is down 15% from a year ago, right? But it's up $16,000 from last month. Last month it was $450,000, right? So the
Right.
prices are, so the median sales price is still higher. But median sales price is not the average sales price. It's not a mark of appreciation or anything like that. What it is half the homes sold in this market were below that number, and half the homes that sold in the market were
So
above that.
why do you
number.
think they go by the median price, not the average?
Because it's just the point. Is you've got to have a star in the sky to follow, and that's the star they put in the sky years ago, and that's the one they follow. Average sales price, you got to think, if you sell a $300,000 house, that's one sale. But if you sell $1 million house, that's one sale, right? So that really skews the average. So it's
Sure.
very hard. It's very hard
Makes
to use
sense.
an app.
Yeah, because all of a
you
sudden you get
yeah.
a $30 million house.
Yeah, I mean, you had that one person in, I can't even think of her name, just sold her house in California. She bought it in 2017 for $9 million. She sold it for $31 million. That really skews the average sales price in that area. So it's hard to use that, right?
Plus the comps.
Yeah. So that's just the number they use. But that it doesn't mean, and people look at it like, oh, houses are depreciating. No, they're not depreciating. What's happening is that there are more houses available under that $460,000 range this year than last year.
Right.
Now, that's what it means. There's just, they sold more houses below that median
Sure.
than they did last year. So it drove it down. Because there have been a lot of people that were just kind of sitting on the sidelines, and when the rates were threes, people that qualify for $450 were buying $600,000 houses, right? Well, now those people can't qualify for $600,000 because the rates are 6 and 7s. So now they're buying $350, $400, right?
Right.
And that's what's driving that median sales price down. Closed sales, 2,611 closed sales in April. That's down 18%. Now, which is, honestly, that's just straight driven. I mean, there are a total of 8,285 active listings. Of those active listings, 3,200 are pending. So that means there are a total of 5,000 homes actually available. That's 2 months. If you think about it, 2 months of inventory. It shows 3.2 months because it includes the pending sales, but those homes are already gone. They're pending sales. They're off the market, unless, of course, you went with the wrong loan officer and the house deal falls apart. Call me, 855-29-HOME. But I'm just saying those homes are off the market. So there's 5,000 homes available. Of those 5,000, a couple thousand of those are to be built. So there's a month of actual homes available, even though it feels like there's a lot of homes. in
Right,
the area.
right.
There's just not. And we need to get over 4 months of inventory, excluding pending sales, to be able to have an equilibrium in the market. So
Well,
we're
there.
we're
Way there. And the thing that people have to understand is that there's a lot of people that have to buy a house,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they've been waiting, right? So we talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, marriage, kids,
Divorce.
unfortunately, divorce.
Yeah.
Those are things that you have to
job
move for.
job maneuvers. Yeah.
You're moving somewhere. You're coming in, but you do have some time. You have some leeway, right?
Yeah.
You have 5 months to a year, right? And
Don't forget about the political refugees from California
Funny.
that are moving to Texas.
Right,
I mean, there are a lot of people.
But think when you get here, you're like, okay, I can rent for a little bit, or I'm not moving in about 5 months, or it's about 5 months to a year. So we've had about a slow of about 5 months. Think about it.
Yep.
That big group of people that has to buy a house, they're about to jump in the market. Doesn't matter what the interest rate's going to be. Doesn't matter what it. So if it does go down, you're in trouble. You're going to be behind the ball.
Yes,
It's
and
time.
you're just going to have to fight over that. So, the numbers, if you look, are there. The only true way for middle income and down
Right.
to create wealth and move themselves along the economic cycle or spectrum, I guess the better word, is through housing. In your late 20s, you buy a house, you take care of it, you let it appreciate for 5 to 10 years. You sell that house, you take all that equity, you buy a bigger house, right? You pay off your debt. You do that one more time. Next thing you know, you've got a nice nest egg for retirement. Your debt's paid off because you've bought and sold 3 homes at the minimum over your life. You've used the equity to clear your debt. You've used that to buy bigger, and when you buy bigger, the percentage of the percentage is the dollar amount is higher because the percentage is the same. So 10% of 500,000 is more than 10% of 300,000, right? So you make more money when you do it a second and a third time, and then you take that money and put that aside for retirement. People aren't doing that, but it shows that this is the best and most efficient way for middle income and down to move through the spectrum of economic levels.
Well, and the first time though, rent is a lot cheaper than doing a mortgage a lot of times now.
Yeah, but again,
It wasn't for a while. I'm just saying I get it in some instances.
yeah, but there's economic miscues by renting as opposed to buying.
I get it.
Hey, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. If you have any questions about anything we've just said, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing your American dream. See you in just a minute. You're gonna like cough all over the place before I just wanted to kind of catch it on the phone before I turned it on. Okay, just because it sounded deathly coughing last time.
It was.
Okay, just checking.
I'm gonna